I'm realizing just now that people are doing things very fast. They're not taking time to think about things. I noticed in the past when I try to be in a personal relationship or a relationship, the personal relationship, it could either be like somebody considered to be a friend, a family, or somebody that actually try to be in like a relationship with aside outside of my family. Like, and I've dealt with this with both sides. Being able to communicate with that person on a equal level, me being able to communicate my feelings to you about how I feel about something, and you able to communicate your feelings to me how you feel about something, and us being able to work through that, get through that, so that we can move on together. I noticed that every time I've tried to do that kind of thing with people, it's either gotten, the subject has got changed, somebody is getting upset or angered, and then like if I'm talking on the phone with them, they either hanging up, or if I'm telling them something or how I feel is getting misconstrued, and they're interpreting it a whole different way from what I'm trying to say it to them. So I just know that if I'm meant to be in another relationship which I want it to be my last relationship, I don't want to have to look for another relationship. I don't want to have to feel like I want to be in another relationship if I'm meant to get in one again anytime soon. I want to be in a relationship where I could be able to really communicate with that person about anything and everything. Like, we both able to hear each other thoughts and opinions, hear each other out. We're not walking away from each other when the communication or the conversation gets hard. Like, I want us to be able to talk about things. How can you feel like you care about somebody or you love them or whatever if you can't even do the simplest thing as talk to them about different things? You can't sit and talk with somebody. Why do you even want to be in a relationship with them? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, sometimes I know people can get a little angered or upset, but I feel like long as you're not being physical with each other, I think that everything could like be worked out. Everything could be, everything could be worked through. Nobody's perfect. Everybody have their faults or their flaws or things they may need to work on. But if you can have somebody that you can actually sit there and y'all gonna talk through things, because it's healthy to talk through. That's part of having a healthy relationship. You able to talk to that person. You could be there to kind of be their therapist, or you guys be each other therapists. Like, what's the point of even being with somebody if you can't talk to them? Like, you can't talk to them about how you feel. You can't talk to them about things that's going on around y'all. Like, what's the point of even being in a relationship? Because you gonna just wind up, end up being with somebody else, or you gonna wind up not being with that person no more. It's just gonna end up being something that you don't want. So what's the point? Like, if you can't do that first thing, the simplest thing is communicate with the person you claim you care about, you love. You don't want to see them with somebody else. This all the stuff you could be saying before y'all end up eventually separating. But you couldn't even communicate to that person about how you felt, or how you didn't want to hear how they felt about something, or what was going on with them. I think that's very selfish. No matter what the relationship is, if that's somebody you have in a personal relationship and y'all can't talk with each other, I think you're selfish for wanting to keep that person with you or close to you or attached to you in some kind of way. If y'all can't talk with each other, y'all can't figure things out. Like, it's crazy with so much people going through so much traumatic things as children's, or a child, and you're not able to like fully hash those things out as a child or as you're growing up. And then you go into being in relationships and you can't even talk to that person that you be with about those things that have affected you as a child, that might have made you feel different about certain things. You can't talk with that person about any of that kind of stuff, or whatever it might be nagging at you, or making you have a negative thought about things, or whatever it is. Then I don't feel like you should be in a relationship with that person, or definitely you shouldn't be trying to get back to that person from the past if you couldn't even talk to them about nothing. You couldn't talk to them about nothing. Every time that person try to talk to you, which is when things is getting hard, or you think it's getting too complicated or whatever, that person wants to run away. Like, I think it's selfish. And like I said, I felt like I've dealt with that on both ends. As far as me being my age now that I am right now, I feel like I've dealt with that on both ends of personal relationships, as far as like trying to be with somebody in a relationship, whether it was in the beginning or however long we was dealing with each other. And from my family side, like just having my mother's side of the family only to have a relationship with, I feel like I've dealt with that side a lot. And they don't want to, like, people don't want to take the accountability to like acknowledge why they don't want to talk about certain things, why you can't talk through things to work things out, why do you want to keep that all bottled up inside, and then any chance you get, you want to take things out on people, or just different things like that. I don't understand. Like, I don't know, I just was thinking about that right now. But I just feel like I said, if I'm meant to be in another relationship with somebody, if I can't be with you and it gotta be all superficial and all this fake stuff, and the number one thing is, I can't come to you and talk to you about things, whether I don't talk to you about it 3 times. If I can't come to you and talk to you about that, because maybe there might be a different part of it that I'm trying to work out, and you don't want to communicate with me, you don't want to talk with me, you don't want to hear what I got to say, then we don't need to be even involved with each other. It ain't no need for us to be even dealing with each other. Nobody wants to go see therapists because they think it's stupid, or they don't think it's beneficial, they don't think it could help them or whatever. Then if you don't want to do that, then you don't even need to be with your other half, your counterpart, whatever you want to call them, because that person can also be like some form of a therapist if you wanted them to. I'm not saying they have to be, but people are supposed to be there to listen to each other. I don't care about how society today, present, try to make you feel like you're not supposed to be able to communicate with somebody, and everything that you say is just supposed to be going in one ear and out the other ear. That's not cool, because everybody is still going throughout life, whatever age you is. It ain't just about this new generation and all that. The older people that's getting older, they are still part of this new generation. So you still supposed to be able to communicate with people, because that's why all this stuff is going on, because everybody is just not taking the time to talk and communicate with people. They just they reacting, and then that's that instance that you do that quick 10-second reaction is making a lifelong consequence, or it's just making your life change for whatever it is. And I feel like people is just not taking the time to communicate things whatever the type of the relationship is, they're not taking the time to communicate with the people that, they supposed to care about, or they supposed to have some kind of feelings for, or they having their own, families with, and you can't communicate with that person. Like, it's crazy. It's really sad. It's crazy. And I'm just like, I feel like that's why I just been like doing my own thing, because everybody want everything to be fast now. And I don't think, no matter what the time is, meaning the year, it shouldn't be like that. Because that's why all this stuff is going on. That's why everybody feeling like, I ain't gonna say I never got like that, where I'm I don't want to hurt nobody to the point where they can't be here no more. That's not me. But I wanted to, like, fight and get the frustration out by communicating with you, us talking, us both giving our point of view about whatever the topic is, but not where I'm trying to like hurt you so bad to the point where you're not gonna be here no more, or I'm not gonna be here no more, like, and then you want to go and think about it later after the fact, whether you really end up feeling bad about it or not. Because some people don't be feeling bad after they done did what they did, and I think that's all just built in, like, who they is and how they was, it just got a lot of stuff behind it. I don't feel like everybody is like that, but then after it's said and done, it'd be too late for you to go back, because you could have communicated, in the beginning, and then you don't know what the outcome would have been. It could have been a whole different thing than what already took place, but you never took the time to communicate with somebody. So